One of the biggest questions I get, and I've gotten from you, what is the best training split to use? What is the best training split to build muscle? My honest answer, it doesn't matter. And here's why. The thing with training splits, right? There's nothing magical about them. It's an organization tool. That's all it is. It just helps you organize your training for the week. As long as volume, frequency, and intensity is equated for, it doesn't matter. As long as you're hitting every muscle group at least once a week, you're kind of good. And there's also preference that comes with that. So we're gonna kind of dive into that. I'm gonna go through some splits and basically give you like the pros and the cons in my opinion. I also have some comments from some of you guys that I'm gonna talk about here as well. But I think I'm gonna be able to answer a lot of these questions just by telling you pros and cons or the differences between splits, what I think about them, and then I'll pull up some questions from some folks that left some comments on previous videos or previous, I think they left that on the community page, and we'll hop right into that. All right, so let's start with this. Bro splits. This is actually a question from King Macau 4329. King Macau, I don't know if I'm butchering your name or your username. Thank you for engaging. I really appreciate it. His question are, we'll just start with his question. His question is, what's your thoughts on bro splits, Mike M training style, which I'm thinking you're talking about Mike Metzner, AR7 workout routine, doing one set of failure every day, and building muscle with only carbs? All right, so let's dive into that. Bro splits. I personally love bro splits. A bro split is just a body part split where you just pick a muscle group for the day. Let's say Monday's National, Chest Day, right? You literally just annihilate your chest and then you go home. The beauty of bro splits is mentally or psychologically, it just allows you to just say, hey, all I have to do is focus on this one muscle group. And it's like, all right, it's a simple mission. Walk in the gym, annihilate that muscle, go home. And now you don't have to think about it for the rest of the week. That's the beauty of bro splits. They're super popular. A lot of people do them. Now, just to rewind, remember at the beginning where I said it doesn't matter what split you use. All it matters is the amount of volume you're doing per week. Now, this can get tricky. I'm going to keep it simple. Volume is a tricky word because everyone thinks volume is just like sets, like how many sets I can do, right? And high volume is very popular because everyone wants to do like a crap ton of sets. Stop thinking of volume as just a number of sets. Start thinking volume as quality sets. Sets that require you to be in the like effective rep range, all right? Let's move back a little bit. You have to understand how muscle grows. When you're training, if the set's not hard, and when I say hard, I don't mean it burns a little bit. I mean like you're literally struggling, it doesn't really count. In my opinion, it doesn't really count. Why? Because if hypertrophy or muscle growth is your goal, you have to struggle. You're always looking for this key thing, a decrease in velocity of your rep speed. Because what that's going to tell you is all your motor units are recruited, and even though you're giving as much force as you want, it's still going to slow down. That's a good sign that these are effective reps, and that's where the magic happens. I call these money reps, right? So you want to like always chase that. A lot of people their physiques don't change because they never use effective reps. So when people say, yeah, I do like, 9 sets or 10 sets a workout, it's like, how? But it's because training hard is a skill, and when you understand how to train a failure, beyond failure, or really close to it, unless you're an alien, you can't really sustain a high level of performance with that effort level. But that's not a bad thing because it saves you time in the gym. The thing with bro splits is you can annihilate it all in one session. The drawback to bro splits, you can only fit so much volume in one day before you're literally like doing nothing anymore. Your body's just like, yeah, I'm done. And that looks different from person to person. Your individual recoverability and all that stuff. But I think the sweet spot for most people is 6 to 8 working sets per week for the muscle group. Now that might seem low to you, but if you know how to train really hard, you'll be surprised what 6 to 8 sets a week can do. What would 6 to 8 sets in a bro split would look like? It would be, let's say, 3 chest exercises. Let's say a dumbbell press, a chest press, and a chest fly, right? Let's say you did 2 sets apiece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6. To absolute failure. To absolute failure. If you really train a true failure, you'll be pretty smoked. Now, some people might go a little bit higher. Maybe if you're in a caloric surplus, maybe if you're eating more, you can recover a little bit better. But you don't have to like do more sets than that, especially if they're hard. Let's say you do 3 sets a piece. That's 9 sets, a little bit higher than the 8, but like right now, I'm only doing 4 sets of chest a week. 4 sets. 2 on Smith bench and 2 on machine flies. And my chest is still improving. You know what I mean? I'm in a deficit right now, so I can't really do too many sets. I just don't have enough energy. When you're in a surplus, you can play around with doing a few more sets. Again, guys, this is super individual. Like there isn't like a set number of sets that you can do. You can definitely play around with how much you can recover from and what's the minimum dose that you need to like actually grow. So bro splits I love because you can just get in and get out and it makes it simple for me. Okay. But the downside to bro splits is you can only recover so much in one session. And if you're trying to specialize, like let's say a muscle group, like right now, I'm really trying to get my arms bigger because I feel like I have noodle arms, right? Compared to the rest of my physique. So I train my arms more than once a week because if I try to do more than 10 sets all in one per muscle group, all in one day or one training day, it just wouldn't, the quality of my sets would just degrade after like 6 to 8 sets. You see what I'm saying? So if you're really trying to specialize in a muscle group, that's when I would start exploring other splits. But again, all training splits work. All of them work. Okay. It just comes down to what you're trying to do, what you can recover from, and what you actually see yourself doing. Okay. So that's my thought on bro splits. Mike Metzner style training. Actually, before we get to what King McCoy says, let me just go over like the traditional stuff. Okay. So there's bro splits. I kind of rambled. I'm gonna do these other ones faster. Push pull legs. Everyone loves push pull legs. I don't know if C-Bum made it super popular or I don't know, like a few years ago, push-pull legs just exploded. I like push-pull legs. The cool thing with push-pull legs is you can strategically put muscle groups together that overlap. Here's what I mean by that. If you're doing a push day, any pushing muscle that you're using, chest, delts, at least front delts, and your triceps, all get worked that same day. So you don't run into the problem of, hey, I did chest yesterday, but I got shoulders tomorrow. Well, my shoulders are going to be a little fried because I used a little bit of them from chest. My brain just farted. With push-pull legs, you can minimize overlap, which is pretty cool. I've used push-pull legs plenty of times. I really like it. Here's the only part that I don't like about push-pull legs. Depending on how you structure it, the overlap can actually work against you because if you're doing like chest, your triceps are still going to be used. So at the end of the workout, if you go from chest to triceps, your triceps might not get as much out of the workout like your chest did. So for someone like me, if I wanted to focus on triceps, I would actually flip it and start with triceps and do chest. But my chest would not be able to push as hard because my triceps can't support it, which is kind of what you want if you're isolating chest, but that's the only con I could see. Leg days can get really long because legs, there's just so much parts. I personally like splitting my leg days up. But there's not that many cons of push-pull legs. I think like if I had to pick a split, like bro splits or push-pull legs would probably be the one I do. The cool thing about bro splits too, the cool thing about my brain's not working today. The cool thing about push-pull legs too is that you can play around with the scheduling. So You can rotate. You can do 3 times a week. 1 day for legs, 1 day for push, 1 day for pull. You're done. You can do a 4 day rotation. You know, 1 on, 1 off, 2 on, 2 off. Right. So what I used to do in the past was I'll do a leg day, then off, then a push pull day, then off and off, and then I'd go back. Or you could just, or some people have the recover ability. I don't know. To do 6 days a week, push pull legs off, push pull legs off, and then just keep rotating that. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of ways that you can manipulate push pull legs, which is pretty cool. So if you're into that type of stuff, try push pull legs. Upper lower splits. This is actually like my foundation. Upper lower splits I really like because it just makes it easy. Hey, 1 day I'm gonna work my lower body, 1 day I'm gonna work my upper body. That's it. And I usually do that with like 4 days a week. So I like to start with lower because lower is harder to me. Don't skip leg day. Lower, upper, off. Lower, upper, off, off. Okay? Very simple split. I like it a lot. I used it for probably the majority of my like lifting career. Here's a downside though. For upper days, they can get super long because the upper body has so many different parts. So those can get a little lengthy, which might get annoying. But outside of that, it's pretty cool. The pumps are insane because you're literally hitting everything. So that's my thoughts on upper lower splits. Let's go with. Oh, the other cool thing about upper lower splits, if you want to make them shorter, especially on the upper days, is just superset. Okay. You can superset like chest with back stuff, and then you can superset arm stuff. Full body splits. Full body, I think, works perfect for beginners or super busy people that just don't have a lot of time, or people that just like getting their whole body annihilated and don't want to work out the next day after they hit the gym. Almost like the off day is like their, reward, right? But the thing with full body splits, as you get stronger, more intermediate and advanced, it's actually kind of hard to maintain, especially if you have very specific physique goals. Okay. Now, for someone that just kind of want to get in shape, be lean over around, pretty relatively lean all around and strong. Yeah, you can put some big compound movements, like overhead pressing, deadlifting, whatever, right? But you came to this page because you want to develop your physique. So I'm not the biggest fan. I do have some clients that do full body splits, and there's a way I structure it. I keep the sets really low, and just make sure the effort's really high, and make sure I put exercises that aren't crazy demanding. So I use I'll assign them a lot of machines, right? Because I'm not gonna superset a deadlift with a barbell squat. That's like dumb. And if you do that, well, it's dumb. So that's my take on full body splits. Here's an honorable mention. I actually like this split a lot. I think it's the Arnold split. I call it legs, torso, arms. Yeah, legs, torso, arms. I like this split a lot. I've done it quite a few times. What I like about this is it like divides your body by your limbs and your torso. So you do a leg day, you do a chest and back day, and you do an arm day. I like this because it's superset friendly, at least on the upper body. I'm not a fan of supersetting legs because legs is just super demanding, but if you want to try it. I've tried it. It's possible, but it's hard. Arnold splits are super cool because when I do arms, I love supersetting tricep and biceps. I always do it. And then I love the pump that I get from chest and back. The supersetting that is great, okay? You can try supersetting quads with hamstrings. I'm not saying you can't. Be careful with which exercises. Like a leg extension and a leg curl, I see supersetting that. A leg press and an RDL might be a little tough. But again, it's up to you. Arnold splits is usually 6 days a week, 3 on, 1 off. But you can manipulate that. So like what I like to do, because I can't recover that fast or as fast, I would do 3 on, 2 off. So I'd rotate 3 straight days and then take 2 days off, and then 3 straight days and then 2 days off. And the cool thing about staggering it like that is it's not like Monday is a set day. It can kind of just change. Don't be afraid of rest. That's actually where you grow. All right. So that's the Arnold split. So with that being said, splits don't matter. It really comes down to your schedule and what you like, what you see yourself doing. You could literally change your split every week if you really want. I'm not saying you should. Every week if you wanted to. As long as volume is equated for, you're still doing the same amount of sets per week. Again, quality sets, you'll be fine because your body doesn't really know the difference, okay? So King McCoy 4329. We talked about bro splits. Mike Metzner training style. What I know about Mike Metzner is he's big on high effort, high intensity. I do like his stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of waiting 20 years before you train again. I just don't see the point in that. I think he's a little bit on the deep end when it comes to like recoverability, because I think you can train sooner. I think once you pass a week, it's like you should be training. Yeah, just me personally. Mike Metzner, I like the idea of you don't need a lot of sets. He's like one set. I think you can use more than one, especially if you're not in a deficit. If you're a maintenance or a surplus, you can do more than one set. But you can get away with a lot of sets. I think 2 to 3 sets is money. 4 if you have a lot of food or you're specializing, like per exercise. So that's Mike Metzner. AR7, I actually had to look this up because I've never heard of this. So basically you do rounds. You do 3 rounds, right? So the first round is 7 sets of 7 reps and with 7 seconds rest in between each set. And then the second round is 6 sets of 6 reps with 6 seconds of rest between each set. Third round is 5 sets of 5 reps with 5 seconds of rest between each set. Here's my problem with this. So apparently it's a low rep workout, so I understand why. At the end of the day, the whole point of muscle growth is to reach that failure point. This is just a super fancy way to get there. I think it's overkill because you're literally doing an insane amount of sets, but you're shortening the rest period to make the intensity high or the effort high. But in reality, you could literally get way better quality work with like heavier weight and like 2 sets and just do them to absolute failure. Because that way, if you rest long enough, you get more like tonnage for that. This, I guess, from a pump standpoint, this sounds pretty interesting. I might have to try it at some point. But I just think it's overkill, man. I just think you're doing, 7 plus 6 is 13 plus 5. 18. You're doing like 18 sets in one workout. I think it's overkill. I think systemically this could really drain you. Granted, you're not using a lot of weight. From a work capacity standpoint, it's pretty cool. It'll definitely get someone in shape. But if muscle growth is your main goal, I think there are way better and efficient ways to get that done. So, not the biggest fan of A7, but haven't tried it, so try it out. Doing 1 set to failure every day. I don't see anything wrong with that. That's kind of like Mike Metzner. Again, if you're recovering from it, I don't see the problem with it. But it's, again, like training is specific to the individual. So I don't think 1 set to failure every day, like that's arbitrary. That's an arbitrary number. You just got to figure out what muscles you recover from, because each muscle is going to be a little bit different. This stuff is like, it's very individual. All right. So if someone's saying just do this, I'd run away from it. And building muscle with only carbs. This is a little bit away from splits. I have a video about nutrition. It's called Nutrition for Noobs. Maybe we can make it pop up here. I just don't see why you would only use carbs. Obviously, carbs is good because when you train, you're depleting glycogen, and that's what carbs are. But you should still be eating your protein. You should still be eating your fats. Balance, right? So I don't see why you would only use carbs. You should just use calories, and carbs will be part of those calories. All right. But this isn't a nutrition video. We can talk about that in the future. All right. So thanks, King McCoy 4329. Let's go with Pedri St. Louis 6218. Appreciate your support. Thank you. Is it okay to work 1 muscle group a day, like bicep, and just focus on biceps, or do I have to pair? So this goes back to bro splits, right? Body part splits. There's no specific way to do this. As all you got to worry about, right? Let's say you just tuned in on the video, you skipped forward to this part. All you have to worry about when it comes to building a muscle is pick an exercise for that muscle and train it with a weight that's manageable, something that you can control, but something that is challenging, and do as many reps as you can. That's literally it. I would stay in that 5 to 30 range, right, for optimal hypertrophy, but literally just high effort is literally what builds muscle. That's it. High effort. You just got to push the thing to effort and do the right amount of volume for you. That's going to look different. I think on average 6 to 8 sets per muscle group per week is fine. You might want to go higher if you're specializing, or go a little higher if you're not taking the sets all the way to failure. But the harder you train, the less you need, because from a stimuli standpoint, you're getting more out of less. Pedri St. Louis, you don't have to do biceps one day. You don't have to do one muscle group per day. You can, the beauty of splits is you can make it any way. Like I've had days where I've done chest. Like my coach, right? He does this all the time. He trains chest and quads the same day. You know what I mean? Oh, that's not right. You're not gonna get. It doesn't matter. Your body doesn't know the difference. All it knows is, oh, this got stressed. Well, we got to recover now. That's it. It literally comes down to that. So to wrap up, guys, training splits don't matter. They're just an organization tool to make sure that you're getting the work that you need to get. I would say if you want to build your physique, train each muscle at least once per week. At least. Most people can get away with 2, sometimes 3. I think 1 or 2 times a week is perfect. I love modified bro splits. So, but push-pull legs is fine. Upper lower is really nice. Full body working for some people. And some weird stuff like this A7 stuff. Again, it's all these things are trying to do the same thing. Stress the muscle enough to signal a stimulus and recover from that stimulus so you grow and can come back bigger and stronger. That's literally it. That's all it comes down to. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know if this made sense to you, and let me know what training splits you guys use or you guys prefer. Let me know if there's any that I left out. For those of you that want the guessing work done for you, I am an online coach at C-Form Training Systems. I help busy men remodel their birthday suit. So if you're a busy guy that wants to completely change your physique and you want some guidance, accountability, check out the coaching application link in the description. All you gotta do is fill it out. It takes like 2 to 3 minutes, and you can get on a call with me so we can talk about your fitness goals and to see if I can help you. If I can, tell you how the coaching program works. And if I can't, I'll at least leave you in the right direction. So don't be shy. Don't be shy. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. Help me get to 1,000. Share this video with anyone that would find this useful. Follow me on Instagram, LOCDZOE, LOCDZOE. Everything's in the description. And we'll see you on the next one. We'll see you on the next one.